India has called Pakistan to be a rogue state, exposing Islamabad for its role in supporting terrorism. Now, this was a hard-hitting statement that India's Deputy Permanent Representative to the United Nations called out Pakistan for sponsoring terrorism at the launch of the Victims of the Terrorism Association network. The Indian envoy Yojana Patel pointed out to the Pakistani Defence Minister Khawaja Asif's recent admission that his country has been supporting and funding terror for the last 3 decades. A revelation that she said has surprised absolutely no one.
The whole world has heard Pakistan's Defence Minister Khawaja Asif admitting and confessing Pakistan's history of supporting, training and funding terrorist organizations in a recent television interview. This open confession surprises no one and exposes Pakistan as a rogue state fueling global terrorism and destabilizing the region. The world can no longer turn a blind eye.
Now, the envoy in India's right of reply demanded that the perpetrators and financiers of Pahalgam terror attack must be held accountable.
As the UN Security Council in its statement has said, perpetrators, organizers, financiers and sponsors of reprehensible acts of terrorism must be held accountable and brought to justice. Acts of terrorism are criminal and unjustifiable, regardless of their motivation, wherever, whenever, and by whomever committed. We reiterate that terrorism in all its forms must be condemned unequivocally.
This is Pakistan's Defence Minister Khawaja Asif said on Monday that a military incursion by India was imminent in the aftermath of an attack on tourists in Kashmir last week.
There is a likelihood that India will attempt an incursion in Pakistan and will engage Pakistan militarily. That is a possibility, a very clear and stark possibility. Cannot be ruled out. We have reinforced our forces because it is something which is imminent now.
However, just a day after making this statement, he also clarified that his remarks suggesting an imminent Indian military incursion were misinterpreted. While Pakistani ministers continue to engage in war-mongering, the former Pakistani Prime Minister and the PMLN founder Nawaz Sharif has advised Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif to choose diplomacy over conflict with India. Now, according to reports, the two brothers in fact met in Lahore, where Nawaz Sharif insisted that he's against taking an aggressive position against India and has suggested the use of diplomatic channels to ease tensions between the two nations. However, Pakistan continues to provoke India with overnight firing across the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir. The Pakistani troops have violated ceasefire with cross-border firing near Khawaja and the Baramulla districts, as well as in Akhnur sector. The Indian Army said that it has responded in a measured and very effective manner to the provocation by the Pakistani Army. And according to reports, India is considering the closure of its airspace to the Pakistani airlines, which will force Islamabad to reroute these planes over China or Sri Lanka to reach Southeast Asian destinations. Now, India is also contemplating a ban on Pakistani ships from calling in at Indian ports. Pakistan had shut its airspace to Indian airlines following New Delhi's diplomatic measures against Islamabad after the 22nd of April terror attack. Meanwhile, Turkey has rejected the sending arms or ammunition to Pakistan. The Turkish Defence Ministry has said that a cargo plane from Turkey had landed in Pakistan for refueling, following which the plane continued on its route. This after the arrival of the Turkish C-130E military transport aircraft in Pakistan had triggered a lot of speculation that Ankara has made an urgent arms delivery to Pakistan. And WION's Assistant Editor for Foreign Affairs, Siddhant Sibil, has sent us this report. Listen in.
Situation remains precarious regarding the developments post the Pahalgam terror attack. We know that a number of diplomatic activities are underway. In fact, the Indian External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Shankar spoke to the Greek Foreign Minister. Greece is a non-permanent member of the UNSC and will be the chair of the UNSC in the month of May. And of course, one can expect a lot of movement given that Pakistani side is also a non-permanent member of the UNSC and could try to rake up Kashmir. We know the cabinet is expected to meet here in Delhi tomorrow. There could be a meeting of the Cabinet Committee on Security as well. So situation remains dynamic. India is also mulling ban on Pakistani airlines over Indian airspace that could impact them. So there are developments. But of course, today also marks 1 week since the terror attack, a terror attack that has shocked India. With video journalist Piyush Siddhant Sibal for WION in New Delhi.